Bang! Neeves Knives, I'm Jared, and today we are going through some new knives that recently came out, and this is the end of 2025, so these are knives going into 2026. So they are brand new models, and if I have any discount codes, everything will be linked down in the description because there's a whole bunch of these, so check out the links down in the description. I will try to link them in order of which I showed them. Now, this is by Olton, and this is the M070. Now, there's also another version right here. So, both of them are the same model, but we have a San Mai SLD Magic blade. SLD Magic, I actually like it. The makeup of it is similar to D2, but I find it is very different than D2. And man, look at this, the beautiful patterns they're able to make with the San Mai blades. It just looks awesome. And to me, it holds up really, really well. You can see the core steel in there going right down the center. This one is a Damascus. I believe it's a 10CR Damascus. If I find out different, I'll put it up on the screen. But this one has a genuine cow bone handle. So this is actual bone. The action is phenomenal. That's the first thing you notice from this is just how smooth it is. This is very, very smooth. The thumb studs are placed in such a good spot for the thumb or reverse flick. This one's in fat carbon fiber with a titanium mill pocket clip. And if you look, this is a titanium liner lock. So that is a steel lock bar insert you see in there. So both of these are titanium liners. These are not like budget knives. These are titanium liners with premium materials over the top, from the bone to the fat carbon fiber, with the SLD Magic San Mai blade or Damascus. And man, these are really cool. They're the clip. Let's just try it really quick. Oh yeah, clip is great. Clip is great. Thumb studs, you know, they have the nice ridge around the edge to leave a great spot for traction. Access to the lock bar is good. And just look at how smooth these are. These are so smooth. Like I said, it's the first thing you notice is that smoothness. So let's get to the next one. Now this next one is actually something that's been out. We'll get to it pretty quick because a lot of you already know about the Fenrer, but this one's different. This is different, and this comes from their budget line, not their premium one, but we have a compression lock. So this is a compression lock Fenrer, which is really cool. And this one has aluminum with the Damascus. Concept does beautiful Damascus. By the way, TENABLE is Concept's budget line. There is a premium model of this one. This is a harpoon clip point, or I should say straight clip point blade in Nitro V steel. You can see the designer right there, Greg Shop. And it has a deep carry clip that is reversible, T8 hardware all the way around. Phenomenal action. I love button compression locks because, in my opinion, they are kind of like the peak of what you can get right now between action from detent perspective and drop shuttiness and lock strength and reliability. These are strong locks. They're reliable. The detent is so nice. As long as, you know, they do their due diligence of having a good spot to launch it. These have great detents, nice strong detents. This one's in micarta, also in Nitro V. And then this one, like I said, is the Damascus, which is the 10CR Damascus. Aluminum feels really good in the hand. This one does feel a little bit more premium because of that, but it does have steel liners. So these are still affordable knives, but man, today's affordable knives are yesterday's premium knives. Very comfortable in the hand. I've always liked this model because it's just set up to be a versatile blade. You know, from just doing daily EDC stuff to maybe a self-defense knife, the way it feels in the hand when you cap this off, your palm lays right across that poon. So it feels really good. And like I said, man, it's a super versatile knife that to me has a little pop to it, a little flair. So, you know, it adds to it a little bit. Let's get to the next one. Now, this next one, while we're sticking with TENABLE, this is the Teneal Eagle Strike. So the Eagle Strike is a model that they do have a premium version of. This is the budget version, but this one it feels very premium because we have aluminum scales with this diamond pattern. Then we have a titanium mill pot clip, titanium backspacer, and then Nitro V, beautiful Nitro V drop point blade. This is the everyday workman's knife. That's what I love about it. This is something that it feels good, feels premium. It's light because it is aluminum. Yes, it does have steel liners, but the scales are aluminum. The action is a crossbar lock, and they do a great job with their crossbar lock. So great resistance on the deployment from their crossbar locks. A lot of crossbar locks are very spongy. This has a beautiful blade shape, straightforward ergonomics. You can use it in any direction easily. This is one I really like. And like I said, this is like kind of like a jack of all trades knife that I think will work for a lot of guys as long as you like a large size knife, because this one is pretty large. Then last one from TENABLE, spear point blade. And by the way, this is the Cryo from TENABLE, and it is in 14C28N. We got the faux carbon fiber. I'm not a big fan of this carbon fiber. It is basically like a thin layer carbon fiber over G10. So, but you know, it's real carbon fiber, but it's just a very thin layer over G10. I would prefer just to have solid carbon fiber or solid G10. Deep carry clip, not inset, but it does have flat screws and it is reversible. T8 hardware all the way around. Again, another crossbar lock knife. And what I like about this one is the thumb stud placement is a good distance away from the scale, so it's very easy to get your entire thumb behind it. You can slow roll it. The crossbar lock, you got good good grip around it, and to me this is a good size. If you have a really small hand, this might not be great for you as far as crossbar locks, because you got to pull this down, so you want your palm. But as long as you have a medium to large size hand, this will be just fine for you. Great ergonomics, great blade shape. Again, this is another one that I think will be great for the majority of people. You got a nice belly there to cut down on flat surface. You can still get to the tip, and you have a nice straight edge for slicing. Yeah, it's a good looking knife, and all of these knives that I've featured so far all come in different color options, different variations. Like I said, they do have a premium version of that. Let's get to the next one. Now, this next one, there's actually two of them, and these are from BP. Here, let me just show you. So we got BPS knives. So they are out of Ukraine. However, these are made in China. So if you go to BPS knives, like on Amazon, they have a ton of Ukraine-made knives, where because they make basically like hunting, camping, outdoors fixed blades. They have all different kinds of fixed blades, and they're really good quality for the money. Like you're talking about like 30, 40, even $50 knives that are really, really high quality, and sometimes even more affordable than that, like from like 15 to 25 bucks. So these are, like I said, these ones are made out of China for BPS, but I gotta say, man, I actually like it. So you have the most minimal flipper, if you could see that. It is so minimal, but it works great. I mean, you basically just let the texture of the jimping, which is good, just land on your finger, and then you just kind of push button it or light switch it. But then you also have the front flipper, also very minimal, but it acts almost like a regular flipper if you just reach over. Or you got a good thumb flick. The side finger, not so much, because there's just not enough hanging out. You can get it, it's just not that easy. But the thumb or the reach over works great. This is a smaller, well, medium-sized compact knife, 14C28N, trailing point blade shape. I'm not the biggest fan of trailing points because you got to lift up so high to get to the tip. However, they do work good for cutting down on flat surfaces, and they also do good for like self-defense purposes. So we have the carbon fiber. I think this is like a mixture between carbon fiber and G10, but let's just call it maybe it's just carbon fiber. Then we have G10 here. Good access to the lock bar on both of them. Both of them have very similar action. They feel very consistent from one to the other. Deep carry clip inset with flat screws, not reversible, but that is a great clip. Going to be very smooth in and out of the pocket, and it's going to hide all the way in the pocket. So yeah, this is a cool one. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of trailing points, I actually like this thing quite a bit. Super lightweight. They did a really good job. I wish they would have increased the distance from the plunge grind here by adding a sharpening choil, but not that big of a deal. Like I said, access to the lock bar is really good. It is drop shutty. It is riding on ceramic caged bearings, so very, very smooth. And yeah, nice snappy action and, you know, simple design. get to the next one. Now this next one is a new one from Miguron. So I have two from Miguron. I can't remember which one came out of what. I'm guessing this one is the VATSO, but there's another one right here we're going to talk about that is the FYOKA. So not sure which one's which, but just showing you the names really quick. VATSO and FYOKA. I can't remember which one came out of which box. But regardless, this one, we'll get to this one in a second. This one has aluminum scales with this little dagger-like blade shape. This is kind of cool because look at how thin this is. It is so thin and so light. This is one of the lightest blades I have felt in a long time. Because of that hole, it makes something that's already so thin and so slicey even lighter. And it's using a crossbar lock, which is a nice strong locking system. We have a deep carry clip that is reversible, and it's a wire clip, so it's going to be super smooth in and out of the pocket. And this is so lightweight, you could fifth pocket this. More of a 3-finger knife, but great action, man. Because that light blade, this thing is just so snappy and very drop shutty. The blade steel on this one, I believe, is 14C28N. I'll write it on the screen if it's anything different. I believe it's 14C. But yeah, this is a cool one. Solid aluminum scales. You got the frag pattern. Nice solid. This thing is a bank vault. Nice jimping. You know, it's obviously just a light duty EDC, but this is something, you know, you could, you know, get some work done with, considering, you know, you do have a nice 3-finger grip. It's not like a very, it's not like an uncomfortable 3-finger grip. I got a good grip on this, you know, no matter what direction I'm putting it in. And as far as the carry goes, man, this thing would just disappear. Then we have this guy, which is a little different now. We have a crystallized titanium, which is a process. This is not just a finish. So this is a process that they do with different types of titanium, and it makes this frost-like look. Looks really cool. They got the clip also in the same frosty titanium, and because this is such a smooth texture, the clip is going to be nice and smooth in and out of the pocket. We have TA hardware all the way around. Beautiful sheep's foot, a little bit of a poon action right there, so a harpoon sheep's foot, nice and slicey, M390 steel. And this one, again, just like the last one, the thumb set action is really, really good. Very lightweight. This just feels super light, super slim. So this is a good way to get into a premium knife without spending a ton of money. You're getting a nice slicey little blade with a versatile blade shape that's going to be good for most people. The size of the handle is literally just perfect for just about everybody. You know, I would say that it's not a large knife. It's not a small knife. It's right there in that happy medium area. And man, just absolutely super duper smooth, very fidget friendly. And like I said, again, it is so lightweight, man. They milled out all these scales. So all of this is milled out internally. So light, man. They went up and beyond for light here. And the geometry is thin too, which adds to the lightness. I'm not sure if this is DLC. I'm guessing it's a PVD of some sort. And then the clip is reversible, by the way. I should have said that, which is really cool. And the fact that it's inset means it's not going to shift on you. Yeah, this is a cool one. Like I said, great introduction into premium knives if you're wanting premium materials. I'm not going to say it feels high-end, but you're getting great premium materials. And then last, we have the Beetle S. So this is one I have really liked for a while, and I love silver twill carbon fiber. I think this stuff looks sick, and I love that they mirror polished it. Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. This is, in my opinion, just looking at it, I can just tell this is a super knife. No, it's a knife that's going to work great for everyone. Maybe it might be out of your size range because it is a large knife, but because of this blade shape, because of the arc, like just look at this handle, semi-convexed, so comfortable in any grip you put it in. Then you have a very slicey M398 blade. So this is a super steel even more so than even M390. This is a high performance super steel with super thin geometry, very thin behind the edge, beautiful plunge grind. The blade stock thickness is nice and thin too. And you know, it is a full flat grind. So this thing passes through material so good. And you have this shape that's just so good for everything. Jack of all trades blade shape. And it is a backlock, but this is a very smooth backlock. I can only think of like one or two brands that make backlocks that are like this. They're that smooth. I mean, this thing is, it just feels like some of the best action I've felt on any backlock. The only thing is it is low. So if you want to disengage in one hand, you absolutely can. You can either just put your finger up here and let it drop down and hit, or if you want to, you can just disengage and kind of thrust it forward just a little tiny bit. But you got to remember, this is smooth. So you can absolutely drop shut it. So you don't want to put much effort when you do disengage the lock and you thrust it forward. But man, look at just so snappy. Great slow roll. One of the most satisfying slow rolls from a backlock. And then you also have the hole for a reverse flick. And again, man, the titanium, I didn't even say this. This is titanium. Then we have a titanium spring pocket clip. So this is kind of like a budget clip. I don't know why they didn't put flat screws, but I'm happy that they put better screws than the original one. The original one had big button screws. They should make this a reversible clip, considering, well, I guess you can't flip the stud unless if you add this notch over here on this side. But it is great left-handed though, off of the stud. You know, you can easily reverse flick it, you know, if that's your thing. But all in all, I just think this is a very attractive knife. I can look at it and say, like, yes, that is going to be a very useful design. You know, after handling so many thousands of knives, you can just see use. You can see useful and you can see things that are not very useful. And this one screams very useful. And, you know, it's relatively slim. So, you know, in the pocket for a large knife, this thing's not going to take up much real estate. Yeah, it's got a little bit of weight, but nothing crazy. And the thumb stud is removable if you wanted to. You know, you could do that. But yeah, the reason why this thing got changed was because of me, because the original one didn't come with that, and I begged them to do this, and they did, because, you know, Maxace tries to listen to the audience as much as they can. Every company is going to be stubborn to some degree, but I do like how they are willing to change and adapt where needed. Man, that carbon fiber is just so beautiful to me. I love silver twill. I have some knives coming soon with some different twills. So there you guys go. Work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.